Welcome to Comadres y Comics. Comadres y Comics is a podcast hosted by 3 Latina women.
We highlight the Latinx presence in the comic book industry as creators, characters, and fans.
Join us as we talk CHISME, comics, fandom, and beer. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Comadres y Comics. We are here once again in studio. We're your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Hello and welcome, everyone. It's been a while since we did all three of us back in the studio because we did some wonderful interviews out there. And if you want to take a look, we also have them on YouTube. So get inspired, guys.
Yeah, we did the Come Out and Play queer sports project. Then we went to WonderCon and interviewed Asia Simone, Henry Barajas, the Cuento women, and who else? Was it just those three?
I mean, we didn't protest, but you all guys. I had to leave because I had a flight to catch. But there was also the Christy Shin expose.
Yes. We got a lot of feedback from that. But I have to say, Kristen went and asked if she would like to say a few words.
I was there
for
with
the
her.
record. And that opportunity was given and asked for, and we got nothing. So then we proceeded to do what we proceeded to do.
The olive branch was extended, and we gave her a full day.
Yeah.
So,
I went and spoke with her on Friday, and then we didn't hear back.
Yes.
No, but I'm glad more light was shed on the situation.
Yes.
And I'm glad that people are listening. And if you have joined us because of that, if you come to listen, well, it's not the only thing we focus on, but we hope you enjoy the episodes and what they are, and that you join us in discussing comics.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Everybody that's new, welcome. If you want to ask us anything or anything like that, you can comment on Spotify. I have the comments on. Or you can comment on YouTube, which those comments availability is on as well. So
we actually went to a small little local convention in Whittier last weekend called the Whittier something
South
Comic
Whittier
and Arts
Expo.
South Whittier Comics and Art Expo. It was sponsored by Youth Helpline, and there were quite a few creators and non-creators who approached Sarah and I to thank us actually in person for standing up for what we thought was right, and for somebody said that we were, what did he say?
Balls
we were
of steel? No.
No.
I know that somebody said that, but
but just that we were standing up for social justice, basically, and doing that kind of demonstration to bring awareness to a topic that really has been flying under the radar for the right people, the main people that needed to know. Either they already did know and they decided to ignore it, which resulted in allowing Christy to continue to have her table at WonderCon. And I've said in the past, if she took some kind of responsibility, it was look, I need to have these tables so I could pay the money back, you crazy people. Let me make money. I would at least admire that and respect that, because she's taking responsibility and admitting what she did was wrong. But that's not at all what's happening. She is doubling and tripling down on saying that nothing was wrong, that the accounts that have been shared by the treasurer have all been unfounded. And in fact, if you guys do want a little bit of chisme, she's been somebody with pseudonyms and fake alias names has been sending emails around, basically saying as such that all of the things that people are saying about her are unfounded and not true, and that it's just a smear campaign against her. And actually, Sarah and I were highlighted in the first email that went out. She had a screenshot from our video and basically mentioned, and I'm saying she, that's allegedly that it is her.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know
We
who
don't know.
is sending these emails, but there are, the emails are full of facts and not facts, but information that only she would really know. So either she's sharing extensively with a friend of hers, and they're sending these emails, or she is sending them herself. And she's sending them to members of CAPS. Not Eddie. Eddie hasn't gotten any, but it is, honestly, I feel empathy for her. But I also strongly feel that she did something wrong and that there should be consequences to her actions. So,
and it's
that's
just it's just a matter of like, I mean, in these times right now, if you see something wrong, say something. Be loud, be aggressive, be like, or else you won't see it. The greatest threat to justice is nobody saying anything.
right.
Because then it just gets swept under the radar.
Yeah.
And like this might seem like minor, but it isn't. Not really. Like ten fucking $1,000 and an entire nonprofit organization like dedicated to helping artists thrive or get to places. Like that's gone now.
Yeah.
And so that is an injustice. And so good on you guys. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm sorry that I wasn't there, but I really would have liked to catch my flight.
we rang in your honor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of blacked out for a moment. I was like, "Are we gonna go around, or are we gonna?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, we're doing this. Okay, I'm just gonna follow Kristen." Because the path, I wasn't sure about the path. We didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. So for those of you who are just listening in and haven't heard any of our previous, I think it was the Major Tomas episode 242, maybe, no, 240. I think it was 241. One of those episodes, Major Tomas, where we read and reviewed 241 that book. We jokingly said that we were going to bring shame bells and ring them at Christy if she was in fact allowed to table at WonderCon. And at that point in time, we didn't know if that was going to be the case or not, but it turned out to be the case, and we ended up being prepared. And we, like Sarah said, I went to her the first day and asked her if she was interested in giving an interview. Her response to me was, "About what?"
Again, trying to brush it under the rug.
And I said, "Well, Chrissy, about the accusations and things that were being said about you in the industry, I'd like to give you the opportunity to say something and tell your side of the story." And she declined. So, we kind of just didn't bother her for the rest of the show. And then on Sunday at the end, we did ring shame bells in her vicinity. And I do hope that it did bring attention and light to the issue and to what was happening. And honestly, the issue at this point isn't just that she embezzled $10,500 from CAPS. It's that behavior is being normalized, accepted, and honestly just ignored when convention runners allow her to continue to profit off of the community that she, is harming, that she's done so much to harm. She was there in Artist Alley amongst a lot of other CAPS creators, and a slap in the face to all of the CAPS creators who remained on the wait list and weren't able to table at WonderCon this year, and yet she was. So there's a lot, I think, of politics that go on with what is happening behind the scenes, none of which I'm privy to. But there is just, I think, something to be said for speaking, like Jen said, speaking up and speaking out when you see something that is wrong.
Absolutely. And if you guys out there listening or watching us on YouTube and have no idea what we're talking about because you're new to this podcast, you can go to our social media on Instagram and Facebook, and you can see the video there has been posted as well. And now it's time for real chisme de la semana. Like the part about comic books. Anyway, chisme that I have is Okoye has been canceled. So
no.
Yes, they are not making Okoye, which
I didn't even know that was going to be made.
I didn't either.
I was like really hoping for it, but had really no other information until just recently in February, I believe, or March, they announced that they will not be going forward with the Okoye series, which is very disheartening.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people talking about, oh, yes, I'm so glad they're not keeping us woke or not doing woke.
Oh my gosh, how long has Black Panther been in freaking existence? How long has Wakanda been in freaking existence?
This is all by Bob Iger's fault and those DEI cancellations.
All of these characters that have been in existence since before the term woke even existed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm really sad about this because they were really powerful Black women warriors, and I couldn't wait to see all the action and everything. But I know that that's really sad, but also consider there is a series, an animated series on Max called Iyanu, and it's a West African kind of animated series. So check that out.
Ooh.
Yes. Also, we're getting a Bitterroot. I think a movie, and it's going to be directed by Regina King. So I am.
Oh my goodness!
That sounds amazing!
Wow!
I'm just like dancing because I can't wait. I mean, Regina King has been amazing, and Bitterroot is, if you guys remember, it is a title that was written by Black Panther Party writer David F. Walker, which I took a picture with at Comic
and cried.
I cried a little bit, but I was just so excited. And Sanford Green. So I'm so excited about that, guys. I can't wait. They're also talking about maybe a series too. So maybe it'll be a series linking with the movie, which would be cool. Sort of like Cobra Kai is gonna do with the new.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna happen before Cobra Kai or after Cobra Kai. But I'm excited. But anyway, I am so excited for these two projects that even though Okoye has been canceled, we have these two that we could watch and support and love. Also, I wanted to do a little shout out because I didn't find out about all this information and all this great content that's coming up because I just started following on Facebook Reels. His name is Tony, Tony, Weaver Jr., Weaver Jr. And he gives us all this amazing, like, people of color comics, series and cartoons and all, like, just fandom, you know. And it's really cool. Like, he's just so amazing, and he has such energy and such amazing information. So check that out. But that has been my chisme de la semana. It's time for On My Radar. Kristen, what is on your radar?
So I have a book that we read in our book club this month, and it is an older book. I think it was 2005 or 6, but there is relevance to it because it is connected to the WandaVision, and also not so much the it was Agatha all along, but definitely if you were a fan of the WandaVision series, and have never really read any of the books. I know there are plenty of you out there who just really love MCU stuff, but don't really dabble in any of the source material. I highly recommend that you read House of M.
Oh, that's so exciting. I was just thinking about House of M, and I'm like, have I read it? I don't think I have.
Well, you can borrow this if you would like.
Oh, yes, I would love to.
So as you remember if you've watched WandaVision, and if you haven't, close your ears and skip ahead a little bit. But I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't. If you aren't a fan of Scarlet Witch or Vision or anything, it doesn't even matter because the story is that compelling. But the story really revolves around the loss that Wanda feels when she loses her love of her life. And similarly, in this book, we are dealing with the aftermath of Wanda having basically a nervous breakdown. And in the midst of her nervous breakdown, she loses control of her powers. This doesn't happen in this book. This happens leading up to this book. She loses control of her powers, and a lot of people die. A lot of innocent Avengers die. And so in this book, we are experiencing, along with Wanda, kind of an alternate reality that she has created to kind of deal with her grief and her loss. And there's a lot of kind of also politics going on here because we have the X-Men, we have Avengers, we have Magneto against Charles, who is missing in this book, and we don't know where he is. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in House of M that lead up to kind of where the X-Men went after this. And if any of you have ever heard that there is a huge storyline around the small sentence that Wanda whispers, that's in this book, and no more mutants is what I'm talking about. And I won't say much more than that, but definitely if you are or are not an X-Men fan, I think you will get a lot out of this. Now, Eddie, on the other hand, was like, no, it's too convoluted. I can't understand it. I don't know what's happening. Who are these people? And honestly, I didn't know much, but I knew enough not knowing much about what happened up into this didn't affect how I enjoyed this book. And what I didn't know of what happened in this book, they explained enough for me to actually enjoy the story. So I am an X-Men fan. I don't know much about their canon in books. I was just kind of a big animated series fan when I was younger, and that's pretty much where all of my knowledge of the X-Men comes from. And getting into reading comics, X-Men comics, I know can be very, very intimidating, but this is definitely a one and done 8-issue series that I think you can read and enjoy, and then maybe even continue forward with. So, Sarah, I will put it aside for you, and you can come pick it up. And that is what's on my radar.
Awesome. Oh my God, guys, it's that time. My favorite time. It's la hora de la cervecita. What are we drinking today, girls?
We love LA. I'm so excited that you found this can. And this one's from North Park Beer Company. And where did you find this one?
This one I found at 310 Liquor Store. And
okay.
It's on the corner of, what is it, Crenshaw and Sepulveda?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it's Sepulveda.
Yes.
So this is a dry hopped Pilsner. I'm actually kind of excited about that.
Oh, wow.
It's a 5.0 ABV. And this is part of a series of beers that different brewing companies in the LA area collaborated on and released as a a portion as a fundraiser for the fires that happened in Altadena and the Palisades. So a portion of the proceeds from all of those beers is going to be donated to United Way of Greater Los Angeles's Wildfire Relief Fund.
Also, if you'd like to donate, you can scan
Yeah.
the QR code and choose to donate. And,
Scan it now.
and apparently they all have kind of the similar artwork with the, you know, with the hugging the heart, with the two palm trees, and a lot of people. There was a monkish one that I totally missed because, you know, monkish, they sell out like right away. There was a they're all over the place. And if you want to know who is brewing these, you definitely can go on We Love LA on Instagram, or even just type in We Love LA and you can find a list of participating breweries.
And the can art, actually, they have credited the artist. It is provided by PC Wit. So that's PCWITTE. And it looks like they have an Instagram that you can go to and look at more of their art.
Yeah, I am trying to. I don't know if I missed it or didn't. Of course, we were at events for 2 weekends, but I was trying to get So-Called Cerveceros, which is a nonprofit home brewers that get together, and they were to release a 4-pack of 4 different beers for donations to go to We Love LA. So
nice.
I'll check that out, but I've already gotten a few more, and I think this podcast will agree with me that we will be helping with the wildfires by drinking more beer.
Definitely.
Oh, it smells great though.
Does not smell or taste like a Pilsner to me.
This is good. You know what? It's a sunny day outside. There's a little wind from the west. This is perfect.
So, I was going to say, go ahead, Kristen, you first.
No, I was just going to say, if you are a true Pilsner drinker, you won't like this. I don't think. My mom wouldn't like this at all.
And
because it's hoppy.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say. So when I opened this and I smelled it, I immediately smelled the hops. And I was just like, I don't know. But I took a sip and it is so refreshing. Especially right now, like it's a nice spring day outside because I actually took a few steps outside for a smattering of vitamin D. And it was like if you're in the shade, it's a little bit cooler, but if you're out in the sun and like walking, it gets hot pretty quickly. So this is 100% perfect for the weather right now. It's refreshing. It has a bit of weight to it because of the hops, but not overly so, not overly bitter or like super aftertasty because of it. It's to me it tastes incredibly refreshing, incredibly light without being watery. And I think the hops really do help with that. I think in this case, I think this is hops being used correctly to give it like weight and substance and a hint of flavor without being too overwhelming.
Yes.
I definitely think that what you were saying is exactly right, that it's not a watery, boring Pilsner. It has flavor. It has it has like character. If you are an IPA drinker and enjoy IPAs, but because of that, your palate is kind of more skewed to that side of the beer spectrum, you're going to enjoy this. Don't let the fact that it's a Pilsner turn you away. If you have the opportunity to, if you see this and have an opportunity to drink it, definitely do it. And it is a dry hopped Pilsner. So obviously I said that out loud earlier and forgot all about it when I drank it. So that makes sense. So you can read on the can that obviously that's what you're going to get. I really enjoy it. I am an IPA I used to be in my young days, IPA drinker, and enjoyed IPAs immensely. I like the flavor. I like the constitution of an IPA. And this gives you the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this just really. Today we're recording in the daytime. Usually record around 6 o'clock, but I also went outside and was doing some gardening and some cleaning up outside. And this kind of personifies the sunlight and the beautiful day outside.
Yes, it's
really
a wonderful spring day. Absolutely. There's children being children outside,
children cackling,
making noise and running around,
being alive.
Yeah, honestly, I hadn't thought about the fact that we are recording much earlier today, because I'm already halfway through, and usually when we drink later, I only take a couple sips because I don't want to fall asleep while recording. So that's funny. That makes a difference.
I really like that little tanginess at the end of it. I think I think they did a great job. I don't know, like it shows sometimes, like when they take care of something, I feel like I want to believe that they were so about this project that it shows in the brewing style and the finished product. So if you guys can find it out there, definitely go for it. Or buy any We Love LA beers out there. Because
and again, you can donate to the wildfire relief efforts. There is this QR code, but you can just go to welovelabeer.com and donate there, and maybe there's some merch there. I actually haven't been to that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
There's like t-shirts, there's like hats, that's actually that I wanted to talk to you guys about that, because I wanted to make a little like We Love LA like care package thing and maybe raffle that off to a listener out there, which I think would be awesome. But I'm sorry. Ever since they told me I can't sing on the episode, I've been doing it more. So
you just can't sing recorded, copyrighted songs.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
No more than a line or two, or whatever the thing is. Or not any at all, I think.
To me, that just shows that you are such an amazing singer that the algorithm picked it up. It was like, nope, can't have this in your podcast.
Nope, none at all.
So are we ready to rate the beer? So we have a 5-point rating scale where 1 is very unsatisfied, 2 is just regularly unsatisfied, 3 is neutral, 4 is satisfied, and 5 is very satisfied. And if we think that the beer is off the charts, then we give it a Super Saiyan. And I actually am going to give it a 5 out of 5. It's not a Super Saiyan for me, but a 5 out of 5 is pretty dang good. And I would drink this all day. I am really enjoying it. I've taken all the sips while we've been talking, and it honestly is getting better as I am drinking more of it. So 5 out of 5 for me. How about you guys?
Oh my God, it's such a 5 out of 5 for me. I can actually, which is something I don't regularly do, is eat while I drink. But this one seems like I can be in the backyard with carne asada and having some of this.
So good.
Oh, con una salsita. So 5 out of 5 for me, guys. Definitely.
Okay. So originally I was going to give it a 4 out of 5. But as I sipping this, and you guys as well, and the fact that I thought you guys were going to go 4 out of 5 as well. But I think I'm also gonna go 5 out of 5 because this is really, I'm enjoying it. I think it tastes great. Not too big of a fan of the smell of it, but it's refreshing. It's definitely one of the better tasting pilsners to me. So 5 out of 5.
It definitely smells like an IPA. So
yes, it does.
Which is why I was like, oh, it smells delicious. I'm not a IPA drinker. But also I told the guys at 310, because I was there with the owner and the employees, and I was like, if you guys come across any We Love LA that you guys can carry, please take a picture and put it on your social media, because I will be here the next day to pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or
there's
you
a
don't even
lot.
have to wait the next day. I'll go. Just let me know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Give me a call. I'll be here.
Yeah, because honestly, we can't be in Northern California. We can't be in Southern California, like in San Diego area or whatever. And if they can carry it, we can pick
Yeah.
it up there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah, I can't wait to taste all the others because I bought more. So those are coming up in the next
Nice.
episodes.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
so I'm
Okay, cool.
excited. All right, guys, that has been our beer review. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our book review. And what are we reviewing today?
So I have the online copy of it. But we are reading The Spectacular Salma Sanchez. And I'm going to read the back matter that I have right here is
Mhm.
stuck in a dead-end job at a California amusement park. First-generation Chicana artist Salma Sanchez sets off on a transformative journey to reclaim her purpose and discover the life she's always dreamed of as a first-generation artist. Meet Salma Sanchez, a first generation Chicana artist in her 20s, struggling with loneliness and a stalled career in the unlikeliest of places, an amusement park. By day, she sketches caricatures for the theme park goers at a semi famous park in California, where her artistic talents go largely unnoticed. Out of place, Salma dreams of more, but change feels like an impossible challenge. Determined to reclaim her sense of purpose, she sets off on a transformative journey.
Well, I would like to thank the creator of this comic, Enacio Diaz, because he reached out to us and gifted us a copy of his comic book. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't know this, but we end up purchasing most of the books that we review on the podcast. And we obviously have to get more than one copy because there's three of us. And so I really appreciate it when creators like believe and love their items so much that they want it out in the world and they reach out to us and they gift us a copy of their comic.
Yes, and I mentioned that to him that we have two people that are local and then somebody up north. And so he sent us both physical copies and a PDF so that Jen could read it. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you very much for doing that. We really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, this comic book is made and basically created, like written and drawn by Enacio Diaz. So, I always say a creator that does all of the jobs of the comic book is just incredibly amazing. And I know it's like a project dear and close to your heart, and it takes just so much out of you to just come out and be born and set out into the world. And you can actually purchase this or a PDF copy on his website. And you can follow him on Instagram at Enacio Art, Enacio Art on Instagram. And he has other comic strips there on his Instagram that I would like to see, like maybe he make a book out of all of the compilations of them. And because I really, really, really liked a few. Well, there's one about his quiet apartment, which I highly recommend on his Instagram. So check that out. But we're here to actually review the spectacular Salma Sanchez. What did you guys think so far?
So, I would like to say is that as I was reading this, I wanted to hide my face because I was like, what is this? Did someone just take a snapshot of me going about my life? What the fuck? Very, excuse you. I have a very private life, I think. But now it's all here. Um, it's it was. I think anybody in their 20s or who has gone through their 20s knows what it is to try to find your place in the world, and then finding it, and then looking around and being like, "Wait, this isn't what I want."
Yeah.
It was incredibly. I don't I don't have the words for it, but it really was like I was looking into a mirror and seeing myself, and I was just so like, God damn. Cuz I'm I moved out of Los Angeles. I live in the Bay Area now. I like to think that I have changed, but in some aspects I know that I haven't. Uh but at the same time, like I feel I'm kind of like going through this right now. I'm not exactly a dead end job because you know what? It gave me health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance,
Yeah,
and that is
and that's the
an
dream.
incredible. That's an incredible weight off of my back because
Yeah.
now
100%.
I've been able to consistently go to the doctor, improve my like medical like life a little bit. I've been going, and apparently my blood pressure has gotten a lot better.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yay!
Yes. When I consistently go, I consistently have very good blood pressure, and they're always just like, "Oh, it's really good."
Good.
Their most of their advice is like, like lose weight, eat healthier, blah blah blah. But it is sound advice. Like, oh my god, your doctor is giving you good advice. Maybe you should listen to them. I Oh god, I know this is so minutia and like real like out of the blue, but I went to an optometrist appointment because I haven't had new glasses in like 2 years now, or like an updated prescription in 2 years. And I went in. Uh, in total, I think I paid $250. Uh, and then they gave me a breakdown of the bill. If I didn't have insurance, it would have been almost $1,300.
Wow.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Like
I
I'm paying to see, and if I wasn't insured, I'd be paying more. This is bullshit.
oh yes,
Honestly, when you put it like that, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
yeah, I actually went also because I broke my glasses, as you guys have seen on the podcast. I got my new glasses, but I actually bought the frames on Amazon for like $10. And then
really?
Yeah, and then I had them set all the prescription and my eye exam and everything. Everything cost me $750.
Oh my god.
Sarah.
Yes, because I don't have insurance.
Oh my god.
Just putting it out there, guys.
Jesus.
And that's with the cash discount.
Cash discount.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bonkers. But it's so funny how I went, and as I was like as I was reading Salma and like her journey of like trying to like refine that love or rekindle that energy of creativity, all I could think of too is just like when I was in high school and even like the early days of college, I was writing, like handwriting, not just on my laptop, almost like at least for 2 hours every day.
Wow.
I was like putting out, I was creative. I was just like, it wasn't good, but I was putting it out there. I was like creating it. I was posting online. I was able to get like at least some things. I was able to get a scholarship. That paid for all of my books. And now I can barely write. I can barely like do anything. It takes so much energy and so much effort, but it's for something that I love, but I can barely find the energy to do what I love after I've been working my 8 hour a job that consistently other people keep calling out for. And I'm just all like, gods, every day I'm so exhausted. Every day I just want to go to sleep, drink, and then rinse and repeat. And I was just all like, cool.
100%.
Is this it? Is this what I'm gonna be doing until I'm like 60 and keel over? What is the
I know.
What is the end goal here? I used to have dreams.
Yeah, it feels like, okay, I'm reading this book and I'm seeing myself. What thing creative have I done? Except the podcast. And thank you guys for that, because you guys being here with me pushes me to be some type of a creative, which is great. But I haven't drawn in a million years. I mean, not since I stopped drawing that in October. And so I saw myself in his character. I saw myself specifically when she is revisited by her parents. And she's like, I am not doing enough for your sacrifice. Oh, God, don't make me cry. God. Okay, continue.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, continue.
No, I'm going to bounce off of that thought too, because when I think about, like, my parents didn't work in the field, but they did work back when they were there, the fabric sweatshops.
Yep.
Yep. So stitching, like making clothes and stuff like that, getting paid IDK how much under the table. They had to hide several times when they would bring raids and stuff like that. I don't know how long ICE has been, or how long ICE has been known as ICE, but basically the equivalent of ICE back in the day, would come and just raid places. But it's really funny because most places like that have backup plans, and they have like places to hide their employees, which is crazy now that I think about it. Like absolutely wild.
We're going all Anne Frank here, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. And now there's kind of like a return of that. So,
Yes.
but I think about it, and I think about like both of my parents left, and when I don't know, and then they stayed, and I don't know why they stayed. I mean, a better living conditions, stuff like that. But at the same time, they left their homes. Maybe not exactly for me, but for like an idea of me. And now here I am, 30 years old, working a minimum wage job, just getting drunk and high. I don't know. It makes me feel some kind of way.
Yes, I actually felt that so hard, especially this character just wakes up in her apartment and she's just like, all I do is vape and draw caricatures at work. And even at work, there's a lot of strife because they're just like, I think she's trying to do some type of work that is kind of true to her art. But at the same time, like her coworkers are like, oh, like her noses suck. Her ears suck. And then fucking on top of everything, guys, her ex-boyfriend
goes with his new girlfriend.
With his
new girl.
Yes.
No. There's some kind of thing going on between a coworker and her that she's not really aware of because she's like in her own kind of depression. But I feel like this coworker is possibly in love with her.
I got that vibe too.
Yeah. And kind of rescues her from this interaction. She's like, you know what? That's okay. I'll take over. You know, you go take your lunch or whatever. And I was like, thank goodness, because I would have been crying my eyes out while I'm trying the caricature. How dare you bring your girlfriend? I'm still, you know, like, I may not still love you, but I'm still trying to work my way through over you, you know, kind of thing. And you're like in my workplace, like it's not okay. But
you have to pretend it's okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pretend it's okay. And that's so weird because I actually came across people you might know on Facebook right after reading this comic, and my first boyfriend was in that thing, and I was like, oh, too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Because I just read the comic and it just was like, ooh, that just kind of like, there was a little kind of like tethering there that I was not comfortable with. But, you know, this is the first issue of what I feel is an ongoing story. And I just feel like they really kind of nailed it with this first issue. And I just can't wait for kind of the turning point in the second issue. So please, can you like release that urgently, because we need good news. Okay, what did you think, Kristen?
So I definitely agree with both of you on the story. 20-year-olds do not corner the market on being lost and feeling like you don't know what the heck you want to be when you grow up. I am a 52-year-old woman who, 10 years ago, quit my job, and I was in the nonprofit sector for over 20 years and started working in the comic book industry. Just as a lark, because I was taking time off. I was kind of just like I needed to re-energize. I was burnt out, but in my mind, 100%, I felt like I was going to go back, and I never did. And I actually started to find ways to mesh my passions of working with marginalized communities and trying to provide access to them, to resources and things like that with comic books. And then, of course, this podcast came out of that. And I kind of was re-energized in a way that I never knew I could be from something other than what I went to school for. And so in fact, I just had a conversation with my best friend earlier today. My godson is having issues right now of not knowing what he wants to do. Does he really? He's a senior at CSUN right now, and he's been going to school for one thing, and he's like, do I really want to do this? And he's trying to talk himself into, yes, I really do, because if he changes, that means he feels that all of what he's done has been a waste of time, a waste of money, and he kind of have to start all over. And the truth is that, yeah, that's kind of true, but also don't put yourself into a job or a position that you're going to be unhappy in, because it will destroy you. And that's kind of what we see with Selma. She is working at a what do you call it, a theme park that is supposed to be Knott's Berry Farm. And the funny little things that that come up, like the character that's supposed to be Charlie Brown, and the name of the park is Cat Kiwi Farm or something like that. And they also have.
Yeah. I was gonna say, tell me why I did not make the connection to Knott's Berry Farm. This entire time I was thinking Six Flags.
Oh no!
Like, it should have clicked.
With the Charles, Charles Schultz. That, but this is a different. But it's similar to the name Charles Schultz that died alone, and you know.
Yes. So that was like. That's where Selma works. So let's picture, for those of you listening, to make it more real, that this is a 20-something, I'm assuming, woman who loves art and had all of these amazing dreams for herself, which we see at the end. And she is realizing she hasn't accomplished any of them. And in fact, she is actively working to not accomplish those things, because she is drinking all the time and vaping all the time and doesn't have any motivation to do anything. And so that is a story as old as time for just human beings, I think. Yeah. And I think anybody reading this book, no matter how old you are or what your life experiences are, can identify and have this story resonate with them. I definitely, in my 20s, I went through a period of time also where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I graduated with a degree, and what did I want to do? Did I want to go into counseling? Did I want to do something? And kind of feeling lost there. And then again, like I said, 10 years ago, again, what do? I quit my job, everything I ever knew. And really, some people...
10 years ago?
Yeah.
I remember it happening.
Yeah.
Like, we were just getting to know each other, and I remember you telling me that you had quit your job. That's crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, that building up of who Selma is, the situation currently that she's in, I feel like is done very well. Then the added storyline of her basically kind of being in either asleep in a dream state or in a drugged out state. It's a drunken stupor or something, and she is kind of confronted with her parents, who she is just breaking down and just being like, I'm so sorry that I'm a failure to you. And they're not even talking back to her. This is just her emoting to them. Mm-hmm. And then the last page was just another layer on top of the storyline. And honestly, the base for a story is 100% here. And it's a story that I would read, and I would be interested in going and reading further and knowing, because she makes the comment a few times, you don't know what I've been through. And you don't know what it is, what I'm dealing with. And as a reader, we don't. And I wish that I would have had some kind of inkling. And I don't know if we were supposed to garner that from her like little drunken stupor dreamlike story that happened. Are her parents dead? That was my assumption. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. So maybe they just got deported. I have no idea. But this is where this review is going to get dark.
Yeah. I thought it was like a real low point. I'm so sorry, a low point where she's vaping in the porta potties. I was like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
because
no.
she probably was against the rules, so she had to hide.
Yep.
But isn't that
You have no idea how many people are working high at the airport right now.
As long as it's not the pilots.
No, they're just drunk.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I'm just like, how? I mean, I understand, I understand addiction a little bit, but I don't understand the desperation of trying to hide to do it in a porta potty, specifically because porta potties are so fucking disgusting.
I am so desensitized to porta potties because of my marathoning and racing and stuff. I have pooped and peed in the grossest things you've ever seen. And I sit down no matter fucking what. So it didn't even hit me that way. So that's funny that you're saying that.
No, it hit me that way because the last time I was in a porta potty after the Voodoo Ranger pirate ship.
Oh yeah.
Pirate. I was like gagging in there, but I had to pee.
And it was so hot too. I remember.
Ugh.
It was so
when it's
hot
in a porta potty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I started carrying my own toilet paper. But
yeah.
honestly, like just the grossness was like. Ugh.
Oh my god! I had to take the smell, the memory scent hit me, and I was just like, I need to get something in my mouth.
Okay.
Fuck that.
So I'm going to start the negative part of my review.
Okay.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Yes. Now, honestly, the art goes with the vibe of the story. I really kind of love it.
Yeah, it does.
It's very. I thought her nose was cute on that kid. I thought his caricature was right on.
Yeah, I think it was a really good caricature.
I thought so
And
too.
I think it's really funny because I would describe the art style in this comic book also as very caricature-esque.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And doesn't this guy remind you of Mashbone and Grifty?
A little bit, yeah.
Kinda. Anyway,
Yeah.
my critique in Enacio. Hopefully you're listening. For everything, for all, and for the love of all that is good and holy, please listen to what I'm about to say. Storyline, everything. Love it, want more of it. There's parts of the story I think could be a little bit more fleshed out that I would like to see in this first issue. Art, love it. Think it goes really well with the vibe of the story. Your lettering is atrocious. Your lettering had me wanting to throw the book across the room. I took your name in vain multiple times. There were multiple instances of two characters standing in the panel and the person on the left starting the conversation, but the person on the right was answering them. They weren't starting it. I read conversations and sentences wrong multiple times in this book.
I think the issue was the balloon of the initiator of the conversation was below.
No, that's what he did to try to make you read that one like order. I got that after a while. He was making the higher balloon was the one you were supposed to read first, but that's not how comics work. You read comics from left to right. And there were each balloon also was a perfect circle. There was no variation. It was all a perfect circle. Some of the balloons didn't have the little thing so that you knew who was even talking. They were
too thin. They
were
way too thin.
There were instances where grammatically what was inside the balloon was not right. There were commas where there should have been periods. There were two balloons that verbally should have been connected, but they weren't. I just, as I want to rip my face off. As the reader and as someone who, like, if you could be a scientist who is a nuclear physicist and you are the expert in your field, and if I read your paper in a journal and there is one grammatical error or misspelling, I'm throwing that in the trash. And that's how I felt with this book, because I loved the way the story, I loved Selma. I loved the story. I loved her character. I loved how we got so many multi-levels of who she was. And again, that I'm not going to share it because it's a spoiler, but that back page of where she is getting a snippet of who she was as a child.
Yes.
Oh, it really hit me. It really hit me.
It was just amazing.
Yes.
It was the best. It was like the best closing to the first issue, initiating into the next issue. And I felt so amazed and just like a little inspired, actually, honestly.
But I was taken out of the story so many times trying to figure out, what did I do here? Why is this not making sense to me? Oh, okay, I read this wrong in the wrong order. This person really is talking first, and then this person is responding, and then this person is talking again. And so having to go back and reread panels and try to get back into the story was very, very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
No, I agree. I
agree as well.
That. Yeah. And this is why we say here at Comadres y Comics, editors are the unsung heroes of comic books.
Yes.
You need a second pair of eyes. And it cannot be your family members, because they're just going to say, this is great, we love you, you're awesome.
Yes, because an editor needs to be able to look at the story and tell you that, okay, what your story is trying to say is coming across right to your reader. And this was not coming across the way that it needed to in conversation. And there was a lot of dialogue in it. It was almost entirely either her own dialogue or not. And there was just so many just circles too that were just there. And I'm like, okay, who's talking? Is someone talking? Is this and also I asked Eddie, because Eddie, for those of Enacio, if you didn't know, my husband is a cartoonist and he does his own lettering and all that. And I asked him, Eddie, how is there a way, this was for something different. I said, is there a way for you to show culture in lettering? Because I was doing something different, and I was creating a panel where I wanted to highlight culture and how language and art culturally is relevant and so I was trying to think of, okay, I can find an artist, I can find a writer, and I was like, can letterers like actually be culturally relevant in a book? He's like, yes. He yelled it at me, yes, like I was a dummy. And he's like, one of the best examples is Thor books. The way that how when Thor speaks, the words are like in this old Gaelic-like type style. You know, he is speaking differently. He's speaking culturally different than the other people who are speaking. Or when boxes, like when people are yelling, there's like sharp, when they're angry, sharp, pointed, lines that are like crying or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So we got none of that in this book. We got boring little circles. So Enacio, I want this story to be so freaking amazing, and I want the next issue to be even more amazing than this one. Please do some research, get some tutoring. I don't know what creators do to learn, but please work on your lettering.
Yes. For such an amazing story, I also agree. Go ahead, Sarah.
Just one of the things, because I have a Spanish-speaking husband, so I try to be correct in my Spanish speaking, and even when I text him, because I don't want to be like just matter-of-factly, I want, because he gets taken out of a story when there's a misspelling, when there's no tilde, when he told me that, so I'm just like trying to be like respectful of his quirks. So here where you have ¿Qué dijo esta pendeja? There is no upside down Q to begin that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's obviously no tildes in que, but you know,
yeah.
I mean,
That also caught my attention.
what we're saying is your story is amazing, and it's great that you've taken it out into the world, because all of a sudden, obviously, all the time we say just do it, but we've also said editors are the unsung heroes of comics, so maybe have a little bit of money to have other eyes see it, and maybe somebody who's Spanish speaking kind of review the little Spanish speaking parts.
Yes, and honestly, there are many creators on those convention hall floors that are willing to mentor up and coming creators. I was speaking with Ray Anthony Height at WonderCon these last couple of weeks ago that we were there, and he was talking about all of the, you know who one of his mentors is? Asia Simone. He was talking about how he was going to go meet with her, that she was one of his mentors. And it's so important for creators to, and I know it's kind of like exposing your soul. I always had a hard time in writing class when we had to share stories. I'm like, no, I don't want to show you my stories. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. It's my story.
Yeah.
But when you're going to put it out there and expect people to pay you money for it, I think there's value in, like Sarah said, having other eyes on it, but not just other eyes, other creators that maybe are a little bit further along in the process than you are. And they, as you know, there are a lot of people that are out there that are willing to do it for you for free, because they want to encourage more people to be in the industry, and especially creators of color. And from marginalized communities. So, try to find that person who can do that for you, because I think that it will really add some value to your storytelling.
Absolutely. And actually at the Whittier Comic Con, I sat in a panel of how to create your own comic book, or honestly, I don't remember the title of the panel, but it was basically like independent creators talking about what it's like to create a comic book. One of the instances that I was like really captivated was Joe Pye was talking about his friend who had already a web comic and created the whole. No, that's a different one. There's another creator that was talking about how he had already the whole synopsis of the story. Everything was right. He actually gave it to an editor, and the editor read it and was like, what if the main character's friend was a girl? Changed the whole dynamic of the story, and they're like, no, how dare you? Just I already have 7 issues ready to go. And they're like, no, but you know what? Really think about it. And they had to go back and do all 7 issues with the best friend being a girl. And they said the story just flowed so much better. And although it was more work, they were happier with the end product.
Yeah. As a creator, I think you get too close, regardless of what your creation is. We all think our podcast is amazing, but you get too close to your creation and you don't have a lot of objectiveness. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I remember when we first started, we can talk. Like, this isn't a lie. If you meet any of us in person, we're talkers.
Yeah.
We'll yap at you if you're willing to listen. But the thing about that is that we go on tangents a lot, like right now. But this is relevant because once we got a producer or someone to help us, they said, you can really cut this down. And we did. And we went from 3-hour-long episodes. 3 hours. To about an hour. Yeah. We try to keep it to an hour. Yeah. As I said, we're yappers.
So we were told by Spotify we had to change something in our episode because some of the items were copyrighted. So I listened to one of the episodes that I think was episode 11, and it was 3 hours. So I texted the girls and I was like, "Oh my god, we used to go on for 3 hours, guys." They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, thank you to our producer at Mackenzie because she actually cut us down to an hour. Although sometimes we still go over, and you guys know this.
Yes,
For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the clock right now.
Okay. Oh shoot, we went over. But that's how passionate we feel about your project. So
Yes.
we actually rate it.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes. We gotta wrap it up.
Rub it up. So what is our rating scale, Kristen?
So we have a rating scale of 1 to 3 conchas. 3 conchas being the most conchas that Jen's mom ever let her eat in one sitting. So that was the best. So if we feel like the book is off the scale, then we will make up our own personalized special rating. So I'll just go ahead and get started because I'm sure that it will go up from there. The fact that the story was so good and that I really appreciated and thought the art was cool, I'm going to give it 2. I really wanted to give it 1 when I first read it, but I read it again today. And that ending really hit me because I took time to really go through it again and try to read it very with a lot of purposefully, and I really think there's a lot of potential here, so I'm gonna give it 2 conchas.
This is Sarah, and I'm gonna give it 2.5 because it made me cry. It honestly made me cry. It made me revisit how I feel about where I am in the world. I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot. That's a heavy, heavy, heavy emotion. So 2.5. What about you, Jen?
I'm gonna go with Princeton, and I'm also gonna say 2 conchas, simply because I think we're not we're not like dunking on the book. I think this is very valid criticism about the lettering and the dialogue options because readability is important. If you want your comic to be understandable and readable, for any audience that you want, it is highly important that you pay attention to how it is that you're styling those bubbles and how it is that you're framing your dialogue. So the story is amazing. Love the artwork. Love the premise. It's just the dialogue needs a little bit of work, and I think what are like speech bubbles can be thought squares. Definitely a little bit more.
Long, maybe.
Yeah, or long. It in the end, it also depends on style as well. Whether you want this to be your style, and if it is your style, it needs to be refined. It needs to be refined. So 2 conchas for me as well.
All right, guys, that has been our book review. All right, guys, it's time for En la Librería. Jen, what do you have for us today?
Today, I have for you No Saints Nor Poets, an adventure romance comic full of love triangles, sea monsters, and illegal motor gondola races.
What? Okay.
So, no saints, no poets. Only the greatest passions emerge among the submerged ruins. This is the summary that they have on their Kickstarter page. Join Tightrope Press in their first ever comic series, No Saints Nor Poets, a chaotic adventure romance comic full of sea monsters, motor gondola races, pride, faith, and love triangles. Created by the critically acclaimed duo of Yolanda Zanfarnido, Never Heard of Me, A Thing Called Truth, Midnight Radio, and Elisa Romboli, Alice in Leatherland, The Least We Can Do, now with their first BL MLM queer story. Yes.
Yay!
So
I love them too.
Yeah.
yes, because we've read
Yes.
Alice in Leatherland, and it was
And a thing called
great.
love. Oh my god, a thing called
Yeah.
love. Oh my,
A
I felt
thing-
so much.
Yeah.
All the little passages about the movies that
Called
they
Truth.
have around.
A thing called
Yes,
Truth.
yeah.
Yes. And I feel like we read Midnight Radio, or at least heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is their next rope from Tightrope. So Tightrope Press is excited to introduce to you No Saints Nor Poets, a story about identity and pride, faith and cynicism, illegal motor gondola races, turbulent love affairs, carnival, sea monsters, and social barriers. Check out what you can expect to see in issue 1. After their beloved city of Serena sinks into the dark waters of the lagoon, leaving it half submerged, A charming 2-bit con artist and a disenchanted former priest reinvent themselves as delivery men working on the razor's edge, bordering between sanctity and blasphemy on their motorized gondolas. As they fight for a brighter future, they soon realize that their past is not too far behind them. This is your invitation to experience all the adventure and romance of the first of this 6-issue miniseries format, starting with the first exciting 28 pages. Then they have a preview of the pages. Incredible artwork, by the way. Super so visually appealing to the eyes. It's a very beautiful book, and it looks really exciting. Then they have a dub video of the comic that they have, and then they have an introduction to all the characters who you're going to meet, which is going to be Flynn Perfect, Pierre Antoine Dubois, damn, Shylock, Mercutio Alistair, and that's like the team, I guess, like the characters that are going to be in this series. So you can always support without expecting a reward, but for the base pledges on here start at €7, which is about $8, and it is a PDF copy of No Saints, No
that's
Nor
good.
Poets. Yeah, so that is pretty good for 28 pages. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then the physical copy is about €12, which is $14. Then they have a digital deluxe, which is the PDF character sheets, variant covers, I think. And that is €13 or about 15 US. And then they have individual variant cover of the physical copies. They are all about €16. And then the price keeps going on from there. There's prints, there's NSFW covers that are nice. They look really nice, I'm not gonna lie. There's a tier for original illustrations, signed covers. There's multiple rewards out there, but the base pledge that you can get the comics is $8 USD for a digital copy of the book. They are currently at $5,226 of their 6,937 goal. They have 125 backers and 12 days to go as of the recording of this episode. Definitely check them out. We have read and reviewed some of the comics we're here, or just read them because we're fans of the two creators on here. It is available on Kickstarter. No Saint Nor Poets, issue number 1 on Kickstarter.com.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
And I'm so happy they have a new project out.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's now time for Juntos y Fuertes. Kristen, what do you have for us today?
So today I want to talk to you about all the cool things, if you are LA local, that you can do on Free Comic Book Day. So this year, Santa Monica Comics Company. We don't have our actual brick and mortar quite yet. We are working on it as fast as we can, but we have partnered with the Santa Monica Public Library to provide a Free Comic Book Day event full of lots of fun stuff. So if you ever participated and came to our Heidi Ho Comics Free Comic Book Day event, you know that we usually have creators who have tables that you can come and talk to. You can buy their books, buy their prints, whatever it is that they're there. We, as Comadres Comics, Sarah and I will be there, so we'll have some books that we've read and reviewed on our podcast that you can buy. We're going to have buttons and stickers that we're going to give away, so you can come and say hi to us. The library is going to have a trivia contest. They're going to do arts and crafts, and Eddie is actually going to do a small little short workshop on how to create your own comic. So lots of cool stuff going on and the most important thing, free comic books. You can come and get free comics. So that's going to be happening at 601 Santa Monica Boulevard in Santa Monica from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on May 3rd, because don't forget, Free Comic Book Day is always the first Saturday in May. And after you come and have all the fun in Santa Monica, you need to hightail your little comic loving butt to West Hollywood, where QCon is going to be happening. QCon is a queer convention event, comic related event that usually happens in June during Pride, and we usually have a table there, and it's a lot of fun, and it's one of my favorite conventions to actually participate in. However, this year the venue that they have, Plummer Park, has, what's it called? Plummer Park. It is Fiesta Hall. Fiesta Hall was not available during any weekend in June. So this was the only time that was available, and it was unfortunately on Free Comic Book Day. And I'm only saying unfortunately because we can't be there, but it's going to be full of more creators. It is, I think last year they grew to 2 halls. And I think that Ted Abenheim, who runs the event, said that this year they even grew bigger. They have panels, and they have a cosplay contest. It is just a lot of fun. And that event is going to be at Plummer Park in Fiesta Hall from 11 to 6. So you can enjoy Santa Monica and then go to West Hollywood or vice versa, but you gotta come early. They stay open. QCon's open till 6. We're only open till 3. So make sure that you put on your comfortable shoes, because you're gonna have a lot of fun stuff to do on Free Comic Book Day, May 3rd.
All right, guys, it's now time for saludos, and I wish that I would had talked to Kristen before we started recording, because my saludos goes out to Free Comic Book Day at Santa Monica Library, and you can actually follow Free Comic Book Day organizers, Santa Monica Comics Company. That's at SMCOMICSCO. For all things Free Comic Book Day related, and that as at like she said, 601 Santa Monica Boulevard, and QCon is going to be at 7377 Santa Monica Boulevard, and you can follow them for more information on the people that are going to be there at qconprism.org or at Instagram qconprism. So check them out. And I actually did the distance between both events. And you can go to one event and then drive to the other event. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes depending on traffic.
Nice. Super convenient.
But it's the scenic route. So if you find something you like, stop on over, maybe have a little lunch and then go on to the next project. But basically, I figured it out today. It's about 20 to 30 minutes via car on Santa Monica Boulevard between events. So please check those out.
Without
Please,
traffic.
No, actually in the middle of the day, so it could have had traffic. So yeah, they're relatively close. So check that out.
And it's a Saturday, so it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday. And just have a lot of fun, be safe out there, and hopefully you get to go to both events. We, like she said, we're really sad we can't participate in QCon this year because it's one of my favorite events. I always lose my voice after it. It's so awesome.
She always does her makeup so cool.
I always do my makeup. Oh my god, I miss that part. And I always have these cool earrings too that anyway. I'm sure they're going to do well, and the fact that they've grown, I'm not surprised. So I'm very excited for them, but also very excited for us to be at the Santa Monica Library for the first time for Free Comic Book Day. That's going to be totally different for me, so I'm really excited to see everyone and meet new people and give out candy, stickers, and pins. So come on down, guys. All right, guys, now it's time for our episode to be over.
I'm like, what now?
Where can they find us, ladies?
You can always find us at comasicomics.com on our website, where you can find links to all of our social media. If you are watching this, then you yourself already know that you can watch our episodes on YouTube, Comasi Comics channel, and you can find us streaming on any major streaming platform.
Also, make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. We're trying to be active on all of them, but that's very difficult. But we have a lot of interesting stuff, such as our bell ringing video. But also, make sure to like and subscribe, but also be sure to comment. If you want to ask us anything, if you want to say something, if you disagree with us, please do comment. We'd love feedback from our listeners. That'd be really great. And also, you can comment on Spotify. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for spending so much time with us. And we really appreciate you. And we wouldn't be here without you. We are your host, I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.